person from Salem, whenever times, the 1700 times, right? He's the actor who plays McGee on NCIS. But the voice, like, they don't even use his voice when he's a person to sort of...
That's what I was going to ask.
Because the voice of the
cat's voice, did they...
Right. They the actor that they got to play the cat, I guess, wasn't good enough to actually be the person. Does that make sense?
I guess voice actors usually.
But he is an actor. He's like in Clueless.
The guy who does the voice?
Yeah. He was in Clueless. He was in... I feel like he was in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which was also really weird because...
Who was he in Clueless?
A friend of somebody's.
Come on.
I know he was in...
Deeper.
I know he was in... He played some rich kid with glasses in some movie.
All rich kids have glasses.
Oh no, he played the... Did he... Oh, or he looked like the kid from Saved by the Bell, the rich... Yeah, he just kind of looked like him. He didn't actually play it. I don't know. I have no idea. Oof. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I haven't seen Hocus Pocus in a while.
Came out in 1993.
Ooh, I was going to guess 94.
Which is probably when we saw it. It was 94. So it was just ingrained in there. Because I don't think we actually saw it in the theaters. I don't feel like that was a...
That would have been a theater movie, though, yeah?
It was a... Yeah, I think it did come out in the theaters. It wasn't a made-for-TV. Disney wasn't doing that yet.
So it is a Disney?
It's like a Disney.
Buena Vista or something?
Yeah. I was watching something... Or no, I was reading something, and they're going to remake it for next year. Because next year will be the 25th anniversary or something like that. Everybody wanted a sequel. Apparently, you and I also wanted a sequel. But instead of that, with the original cast,
did I want a sequel?
Everybody wanted to see Kathy Najimy and...
Everyone wanted a sequel. Bette
Midler. Sarah Jessica Parker, and all these other people that we don't know because they didn't really have a career before or after this movie. But they're just gonna remake it with an entirely new cast, and so people who usually
they're just gonna remake it.
Yeah, that's why it's like...
I'm so tired of this crap. You need to wait till people die. Like, one generation has to die. Like, whoever's generation it was, which it was ours.
You're right.
We have to
so
be
they gotta wait
super old or near death.
The thing is, they're trying to
market it to
capitalize on the fact that our generation is super nostalgic for the crap from when we were younger.
Well, some of us are, I guess. I didn't need a sequel. I'm good without it. I'm fine with going to watch Hocus Pocus once a year.
They're gonna do I think starting noon on Tuesday, they're going to do a Hocus Pocus marathon.
What day is Halloween?
Tuesday. Kind of like they do.
Marathon. Oh, no.
It's kind of...
Christmas Story or whatever.
Yeah, Christmas Story they do, and Elf now. They've been doing Elf the last few... I can't watch Elf. It's... like, I like Will Ferrell movies, but that one is just too... like... Yeah, like all the time. Yeah, it's just I don't. It's just too like in your face. He's just like screaming all the time. Like, I'm so excited. But yeah, I watch Christmas Story every Christmas Eve. Like, I make sure I at least catch it. I check what time it comes on, and I plan it out within my festivities, and figure out when I can watch it all the way through. And so that's like the one time a year I watch it. It is probably my favorite Christmas movie. I don't know why, but it is. You know what it is? It's the Christmas movie? I think it's because of the narrator. Whatever, I can't. Gene Shepard, maybe.
Could be
because he's the guy who wrote it. And he also is the narrator, and he's the voice of Carousel of Progress at Disney World.
I don't think that's why it's your favorite Christmas movie.
So I think it's like, it just like brings me back, like hearing those. I'm like, it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
No, that's definitely one of the best Christmas movies. I never got into It's a Wonderful Life.
No.
I don't know.
Or Miracle on 34th Street, even though they did the remake.
The remake I used to watch as a little kid.
But I didn't like that. I didn't like Matilda.
Yeah.
She freaked me out.
I definitely like that movie. That's what's weird about not having TV now the last 5 years. I don't get the same movies every year. I had A Christmas Story on DVD. And my mom might have even had A Miracle on 34th Street on DVD at some point, but if you don't get that every year, it's weird. It doesn't feel the same. Because I would like to watch those.
The one I also watch every year, Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
Made it all the way through.
Oh my god, I love that one.
I have to get through it.
Sinbad used to be one of my favorite comics when I was like 6. When he was big, you know, I watched all of his stand-up and just like see him in that movie. It was like with Arnold, with my guy, and Phil Hartman. It was a pretty good cast.
I'll have to wait a couple months before.
Plus
I watch that one.
Anakin Skywalker is the kid, the little one from Episode 1.
Sure.
I forget what other movie he was in. I feel like he was in 3 movies and then like never again. Once he did Anakin.
Is he done, that guy?
I've never seen him in any other movies.
I figured he just looked kind of different, so I hadn't noticed. Like
that,
you know?
that could be true.
And I pay so little attention to everything. It seems nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah. So I also watched Nightmare Before Christmas. I think yesterday, which got me thinking: is it a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie?
Fucking Tim Burton was like, screw it. Taking the last 3 months. Pretty much it. Yeah, it'd be cool. Weren't they supposed to make one where they go into the other trees or something?
That'd be nice, but they should.
Like, that's the stuff they should do. Don't stop remaking and stuff. There's plenty of little things.
They're going to make a live action.
You can,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Take a great movie and take one little part and then do that. Everyone likes prequels and fucking side stories. That's what they're doing with Star Wars.
Right.
I hear.
Yeah, the last one was basically like the last, I don't know how much time it was, but it was like right before, or it was like a side story to how they got the plans to blow up the Death Star.
Right.
So it was like that side story. But then they're doing Han Solo.
Was it you who was explaining the whole thing to me?
I think
so. And you were saying this was part of the original sort of.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And like they're doing Han Solo movie. So like December episode 8 is coming out, so it's the continuation of the full canon, but then next year it's going to be a standalone Han Solo movie called Solo. They did a big reveal. Ron Howard did this big I think he's the director for the film, and they did this big reveal, and he just like had this little thing, and he like flipped it over and it said Solo. It's like, how long did it take them to come up with that?
Fucking nuts. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I never would have thought of that. But yeah. Did you ever see? Though, there is a Christmas Story 2.
Oh, is there?
Yes, and I've seen that, and that is one awful piece of trash.
How close was it to the original? Pretty far?
As far as what?
Because remember, they used to do that. Like, in the 80s, 70s, they would make a really shitty movie, like, 7 years later that was a sequel, but had, like, none of the same people, and, you know.
That's exactly what this was.
Okay.
This was made, 5 years ago. So...
Oh. Okay, well, that's too big of a gap, though.
Christmas Story was made, what, in the 80s?
I don't know.
I feel like it was maybe late 80s.
You should look that up.
And this one was made with...
Let me see earlier.
In the 2010s. Daniel Stern is the dad now.
Daniel Stern. Oh, from Home Alone.
Home Alone. I think that's his name. I'm pretty sure.
83.
Or Bushwhacked. Do you remember that classic, Jim?
I remember the name. 83.
So that's a really long time.
And then
and Ralphie is a teenager, and he wants to drive a car, and like he goes to a. This is as far as I got through the movie. So he goes. There's like a car dealership. This is like what, the 30s or something like that, and there's one on like one of those ramp things, you know, like it's a display, you know, right? And he gets in it, and he's like pretending he's driving, and he accidentally like hit the owner of the car dealership comes out, and he gets scared, so he tries to climb into the back of the car, but as he does it, he like releases the emergency brake, and the car goes down, hits a pole. Okay, nothing happens, and then the top of the pole comes crashing down through the car. So he doesn't want to get in trouble with his dad, so he like comes up with this plan to pay back the owner of the thing. That's when I turned the channel. I was like, nope, this is stupid.
No, see, that's just as bad. It's too big. It's like a 30-year break.
Right.
But they used to just make one after, and it would be so loosely connected that you'd be like, wait, is this?
It's kind of like the Disney ones where like you'd have like Little Mermaid,
shitty Aladdins that were like
right,
really low rent Aladdins or Little Mermaids.
Right.
Yeah, they'd be like, well, yeah, but
or Lion King 1.5
45-minute Disney Channel cartoons, though. I feel like
they were like they were made. They went straight to video.
Well, they would sell them. Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever see them on television.
They would still be annoying, but I would prefer if they just did like parts of movies and delved into them,
right,
as I was saying.
Not just remake Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I never even got near that one.
I actually saw it in the theater. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't like they remade the movie, but they retold like an origin story kind of thing,
but
with different, you know, like female characters as opposed to.
So they pretended that the Ghostbusters never existed.
No, I don't really remember. That was a while ago. I feel like there were nods to it because like Dan Aykroyd was in the movie, and Ernie Hudson, was that the black guy?
Oh, I don't know.
They were both.
In the universe, there were nods to it, or to the audience, there were nods to it.
If you caught it, because there was like.
Well, it would be easy to tell if
Harold Ramis was had a bust or something. There was like a bust of him because he had just died or whatever.
Oh, Jesus.
So, like, there was a bust to him somewhere.
There's
like
a hologram of him tap dancing in the corner.
Was Bill Murray was in the movie? They were all three of the.
But were they in the movie as Ghostbusters?
No.
Right. So they pretended the Ghostbusters never existed in the universe. These girls were the first Ghostbusters.
I don't remember. I feel like it was like a little bit of, yes, they did exist, but it was 30 years ago, so everybody forgot about them or something like that.
Where he's just tired now. I don't really want to anymore.
They died or something. Right? They died with they got like squashed by the Statue of Liberty.
The statue fell on her. The bust. Busted their domes.
So I went to do a physical for the new job, potentially. Mm-hmm. And did the weigh-in, 310.
Oh, nice.
So 10 pounds away from 300. We said by the end of November.
Ooh.
So we're getting there. And this is like the most difficult time of the year to do that kind of stuff. Thanksgiving's coming up. it's been really hard not to devour all the Halloween candy we have in the house.
Didn't buy any Halloween candy. I've stayed away from Halloween candy. I've been buying ice cream though still.
Yeah.
Can't stop.
We just had Cinnabon. We went to the mall.
That sounds so good. Man, you made a Cinnabon trip? You went all the way?
No, we went to the mall to do some shopping, and then we're like, well, we could go home and have dinner, or we could just have dinner here. So we both didn't. Me and Melissa didn't really want any real food, so we got Amelia a lasagna from Sbarro, and she ate that, and then we eyed the Cinnabon, and we both got ourselves a Cinnabon.
Where the hell did I go yesterday?
Those things are addictive.
Yeah, man. They have cinnamon rolls. I've been addicted to cinnamon actually, just lately.
Really?
In oatmeal, and I'm putting it in. Well, I get vanilla chai, anything with cinnamon in it is delicious.
Right.
What was I gonna say? I went to Kuma's yesterday.
Okay, the real one,
the original.
or isn't there another one downtown?
No, see, that's where I thought it was too, because I was downtown. So I was like, oh well, that one's closer than the original. So I look it up on the map. We're downtown. Original is here, Logan Square, north of there, or whatever. The new one is northeast of there, so it's right up the. It's
near Evanston.
Yeah, or I don't know, old. What the hell is that shitty town up there? That everyone's always like, yeah, it is a shitty town, like Broadview and Irving. It looks like it's up that region,
Okay, yeah.
North of the city, pretty far east.
Rogers Park.
Oh, it's actually really close to Underground, I think. So it's kind of near Wrigley.
Okay.
But not downtown. So it was closer and better to go home for me just to go with the original. Okay. So we got there at 5 on a Saturday. So people get there right when it opens, right? And that's lunchtime. And then it's Saturday, so I figure all the fucking cool kids, it's too early for all them. Anyone who actually goes there to drink and eat and be cool is way too early for that. So, but I was 5 is when the old people like me are going to be there trying to get in before and after. But usually it's packed as shit. Whoa. Yeah. Emptiest I've ever seen it.
Me and Melissa tried to go there a long time ago when she worked at WGN, so she worked really close, right? And it was, I don't know if it wasn't open yet or what, but we went across the street. There was a
Square was over
something
there.
Like that.
Now it's called Damon Bar.
And they had some good burgers.
I used to go to Square because I didn't like waiting at Kuma's. I went there once and I was like, well, fuck that. I'm just gonna come here from now on.
Right.
And then they
I had a foie gras burger.
Ooh, yeah.
Or she had it was topped with lobster stuff. I was real fancy stuff. I was like, this is pretty good.
And they had deep fried Snickers and stuff there that I used to get, and Oreos. It was really good. They had good brunch stuff too. Yeah. Just the breakfast burritos and stuff seemed to be better than normal. They were a touch above normal. And they would have, brunch drink specials, so you could drink mimosas or.
I think they had a Bloody Mary thing, yeah.
For those amount of hours. But yeah, it was so weird because I always go there, and I lean towards the burger of the month because it's this Kuma's been around for a long time. I've pretty much perused all this. Something about hell. So it's
Hell's Gate.
Full of Hell, maybe it might have been called. Yeah, something like that.
So it's just 5 alarm chili.
It wasn't chili. I ended up getting the Black Sabbath, which I've never gotten before. Okay. Chili, pepper jack cheese, onions in the burger, and it was great because you ever feel like you're eating a little too much on the burger at Kuma's? I don't know, when there's a pear on it and horseradish, fucking I don't know. Sometimes I'm in the mood for that.
Right.
But I wasn't yesterday. So that was actually really good, simple.
Right.
It's just this is a burger with chili on it. Their chicken tenders is the appetizer.
Okay.
Best chicken tenders ever as well. I talked them up way too much before we got them, and I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. But no, every time. They must be taking just fresh-ass chicken breast, doing a real batter thing back there, and yeah.
Isn't there mac and cheese supposed to be really good?
Someone got the mac and cheese when I went to the Schaumburg one, and it didn't look that great, but I feel like nothing was that great at the Schaumburg one. I don't know. They had a special mac and cheese too, I feel like, and that did look pretty damn good. Yeah. They have a fish sandwich now, a pork sandwich. I got the BLT last time I went, but they added like sriracha to it, and I don't like sriracha. And there was one more thing that's not a burger, I feel like. Oh, maybe not. What did Keish got? Keish got... Oh, Neurosis.
Okay.
I feel like it's just like a lot of peppers and something. But it's not hot. It's not spicy. It's like a red pepper or something. A sweet, sweet pepper.
Just sweet bell peppers.
But we walked in there, said 2, and there was an open table. So right then you're like, whoa. And then after we sat there for like 10 minutes... At one point, the bar was completely empty. Right. There was no one sitting at any of the fucking chairs. I was like, whoa.
I think the only time I think I've sat in there twice, and I think both times were like really off hours.
Oh, okay.
Because I will not wait.
I don't like waiting when I go places. I really don't. And sometimes it's probably irrational. And I realized that the last time we were in Kansas City going to this barbecue place on the way back,
right? And
they said 20 minutes, but like I'm in like let's eat and get on the road mode. So I was like, all right, well, where you guys want to go? And they just kind of stayed planted, and I was like, okay, well, I guess by the time we get on Google, we don't know where the hell we are. Fine,
right.
And we ended up waiting like 12 minutes instead of 20. I always assume they're telling you 20. It's going to be 45.
Right.
That's my.
Most of the time, that is what it is.
Okay, so not being.
But I don't like I'll wait. We'll wake up and Melissa will want to have breakfast or something like that, and there's this one place out in Schaumburg called Wildberry that's like it's really good, but you get there past a certain time and you're waiting for like forever because it's
for brunch, for breakfast.
Right.
Come on, man.
So it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, let's go. We gotta go. We gotta be. And she's like, we have time. And I'm like, I'm on the expressway. Like, we gotta get there. And usually we're there early enough to where we're fine. We don't have to wait in line or anything. But I remember the first time we went, I don't think we had Amelia. And we waited for a long time, and I'm like, this better be good. And the food was amazing. Like, if you like sweet stuff for breakfast, this is the place to go, because everything that is sweet, French toast, pancakes, waffles, everything they do is, like, delicious. The savory stuff, not so much. But, they have this special... They call it berry bliss, and you can get it as pancakes or French toast, or it's basically just like berry flavored mascarpone that they put on it. The berries like creme anglaise, all this stuff. It's really good. But yeah, so I'm in my head. I'm like, we're not gonna make it. We're gonna get there, and then we're there, and it's like a desert, and I'm like, great. Now we're here, and now we have to waste so much time because everything around us. Once we're done eating, isn't even open yet. So we're like sitting around Target for 3 hours before.
No, I'll wait for dinner and lunch, but I really don't like waiting for breakfast. I don't know, maybe because I haven't eaten yet. It's fucking annoying, And I feel like it's always louder than other establishments, right? There's all that silverware clanging, and I mean, it's a busy time,
right?
But
no, for sure.
I'm not into being around a bunch of people when it's busy. I'd rather like crack an egg in my own pan.
That's true. I read something, an article where they were like trying to, like, why are you waiting in line for breakfast, like, or brunch? Brunch is a new thing. That's stupid. You can make eggs and bacon. It's like, yeah, but I can't make good pancakes, or I can't make French toast like good. Like, I'm sorry, I try. Every time I try to make something sweet, it doesn't come out the way I want it. And so I'm like, I might as well wait in line to get some, if I want that. Like, I get, like, if I want eggs and bacon, I can make it myself and it'll be fine. Yeah. But the other stuff I can't really.
Yeah, I don't make anything.
I don't make
either.
it enough to where like I got this down.
Like I've never made pancakes. I don't know how. That takes
so much
you
time.
Just add water most of the time. If you're being normal about it, not
I think
foodie.
That's pretty much the Bisquick.
Yeah,
just add
like
water.
Our moms used to do. I mean, like the generation before us, they ate at diners and breakfast. But that was like it was a every once in a while thing, or it was like on a Sunday morning type thing.
Right.
Maybe even after the bar type thing, like early. But now, it's like this big business shit now, right?
This brunch thing.
I want to learn how to make good waffles.
The thing is, like,
pancakes. If I could, I would never go to those places.
Right, that's true. Like, if I could make the wild berry bliss French toast, or even just make golden nugget French toast. Because that's the one.
It shouldn't be that hard.
It shouldn't be, but it is. I don't know why.
I feel like my mom used to make good French toast.
I've done every. I think it's also I'm impatient. Like in the morning, like I'm hungry. Like if you're in,
you don't want to go away.
Right, but like for whatever reason, you can. If you're not the one cooking, and you're just sitting there waiting for it, drinking your coffee or whatever, you can kind of. Fine, whatever. I can wait 20 minutes. But if I'm cooking it, it has to be, 5 minutes or less. I can't wait 25 minutes for this French toast to get solid.
I've been making bacon. I start with the bacon, then I throw some. I'm trying over medium lately. Did we talk about that?
No.
I was trying on the way back from the trip. We were like eating breakfast all the time, and instead of over easy, which I usually get, I started ordering over medium. I just like them more. The gooier, the better.
Right.
And then I've been making. I got Eggos at Sam's last time I was there, so I've been adding a fake waffle to my breakfast pretty regularly. But that's a sweet ass breakfast, man. I got the blueberry kind, and I got the home style, which I can't really tell what the difference between regular and home style is. But
I don't think there is much of a difference. I think it's a marketing ploy. You go, oh, home style.
I just knew I don't think I wanted chocolate chips, so I was like, I'll try this home style. I knew the blueberries are delicious, so.
Yeah. So, I just don't have the patience to make French. Like, I'm pretty sure that, like, every time
you need bread, egg, and then you need, like, vanilla, cinnamon.
You need, like, usually some kind of milk, because it's not
cream or something, but, yeah.
I mean, I can do it, but it's just, like,
it just doesn't turn out right, huh?
It doesn't turn out right, yeah.
How many times have you tried? Like 20 times?
A million times.
25?
I prefer French toast over pancakes. So if I'm gonna make something, I've probably made pancakes maybe like 30 times in my life. I probably made French toast like 100 something times, and I don't know. I feel like.
What kind of bread are you using? Wonder Bread?
I try to get the. Like a brioche.
Something like a Texas.
Yeah, Texas toast or something like that. But I don't know what it is about golden nugget French toast. I love that shit.
What about those like Burger King French toast sticks?
I have bad memories of French toast sticks because my dad would buy
I
frozen
just realized
ones.
We ate a lot of French toast sticks at your house and my house.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I just remembered like those never came out.
Flashback.
Very good.
Sometimes so hard and overcooked. Oh my god! Like, man, I totally forgot that we used to eat a shitload of those. I thought like Burger King like made those up 5 years ago.
No,
Frozen
that's why
packages.
That's why I'm always apprehensive. But they are pretty good.
That means I can still find them in stores today. Holy shit!
Pretty sure you could. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but those were always hit or miss.
Yeah. Like
I started getting better at cooking them like as I got older, but it's still if you wanted it fast.
You know what the problem was? We put too many on the plate at once. That's what it was. So some would be frozen, some would be overcooked.
But what I would do is I would this is when I got really fancy. I would like microwave them for just a little bit and then get a pan out and put butter in it, and then I would just cook them in the pan.
Jesus.
And I'd probably put extra cinnamon and sugar on them because I was a fatty.
That's a churro, baby. That ain't no French toast stick.
And so that was probably the only time they tasted good. But straight out of the microwave, no.
Those things are good, man. Oof.
I always wanted to buy a deep fryer because I thought Those would be really good in a deep fryer. Everything we ate would have been better in a deep fryer than what we normally.
Just taking those. Like, yeah, you probably could get one of those like square things, the containers that like you drop it in there. I haven't eaten yet today either. I think I cook. When you make bacon, you bake your bacon always?
Not always, but
all right. When you fry your bacon, well, first of all, I cut mine in half.
I don't do that.
Which is a last 6-month development, and it works so much better as far as for me getting like the stuff flat on the pan so that it's all getting cooked as opposed to like big ass pockets of uncooked fucking fat. But I put pepper and garlic powder on the upside when I first put it down. I pretty much cook. I try to flip it once is my method. Get it like all cooked. Woo, get it enough brown. Then when you flip it over to the spice side, it's like already hot and blah blah. So it's really fast, like fucking cooks up like that. So I try to just do a 2 flip and flop. But sometimes
a 2 flip and flop.
That's my method. The 2 flip and flop. And but sometimes people are flipping that shit like 20 times. Tell me your thoughts. I know I just laid a lot out there for you. There's a lot of different facets.
I feel like most of the time I do the 2 flip, and then whatever happens. I've noticed that like even if you take it off and put it on a plate with like paper towel to like drain the oil, but you don't necessarily like pat it down right away, it'll still cook a little bit because that grease is still hot, so it'll still cook. So I'll take it off just before I think it's what I want it to be, and then it'll like crisp up a little bit more. It never looks crispy in the pan to me, and then when I take it off and I let it sit and then I pat it dry, it's like crispy for some reason.
Tater got a cast iron pan like 2 weeks ago, so it's getting like the stuff on it kind of. I cooked some eggs on it the other day, like everything just gets black on it, you know. It's like it's pretty tasty, I guess. I don't know. It seems to get way hotter than the pan I was using, which is just like a copper coated whatever. Really easy to slide shit around on it. But I mean, they're supposed to be superior, right? That's what everyone says. So I wanted to try it out for a while.
Yeah, I guess.
Right.
I think it's good for certain things, but I don't know.
I think for as much as I eat bacon and eggs and make bacon and eggs, it'd probably be good. Because like I think it's like just grease is what you want, and then basically whatever you're cooking in it, like you wouldn't want to throw French toast in it, probably.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't
bacon
know.
Grease, all that.
I have no idea.
Get it marinating.
I have no idea. Oh, but also at the physical, they tested my hearing and my vision. Okay, my vision. And so for the hearing test, they put headphones on you, and he just ran this machine, and he's like, all right, if you think you hear something, just click the button. He goes, more times than not, you heard something, right? And the sound is so quiet. It is so freaking quiet, and they're like at different decibels, right? Like, and you just 3 little shots of each note. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. And it's not timed, you know. I can't like be like, get a rhythm or something like that. So, but it's so quiet. So quiet. And I'm just like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to get this. I'm like, do I hear it? There was like a point in time where I didn't hear anything. And I'm like, do I hear anything? And I just like, at some point I clicked it, right? So I'm like, whatever. And then I started, it was in this ear. And then everything in this ear I heard perfect. Oh. So I'm like, boom, boom, boom. But then he goes, wow. After the test, he's like, wow. He's like, usually people show signs of like maybe 25 decibels of hearing loss around your your age range, whatever. It's like nothing. There's no sound. There's no hearing loss. And I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, it surprises me too. And I'm like, I'm super surprised. Like, how is that possible? Like, what? But anyway, and then we do the vision, and he has me standing far away from the thing, read the thing. Okay, now read it backwards. Okay, wow, your eyes are amazing too. And then I do the nearsighted thing. You gotta put your chin on something, or your forehead, or whatever. Okay, read this. And he's like, wow. And then did a color thing. I don't know if you've ever done that, where it's like a bunch of dots, and there's a number in the with like, different color.
Right.
So can you recognize it? I guess this is make sure you're not colorblind, because they were all red green.
Okay.
So, and I think men are more likely to be red green colorblind.
Heard that. Yeah.
So I think that's what it's trying to mask that. So, he's like, and so we're going through this book, and I'm just telling him numbers, and then he's like, didn't miss a single one. It's like, holy crap. I was like, wow. It's like, man, you got like superhuman vision and hearing here.
What is the reason for needing to be able to hear that well?
I think it's just, can you hear? I mean, obviously, if somebody said something to you, you'd want them to be able to hear you, right? I don't know. Like, but I think this is also, these are similar things that they have pilots do. So I think with a pilot, you would need to be able to hear stuff. We all need to be able to hear stuff. But, because he was like, oh, some of these things, like, are, like, they just started taking out for the air traffic controllers, because he's like, they used to make you do everything the same as a pilot. It's like, oh, okay. So I don't know. I understand the vision, like you're gonna be staring at a screen forever.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And I mean, I know there's some sort of noise factor to it.
I'm sure there's some kind of
warnings and
beeps,
blah blah blah. But I'm just, you would figure that all those warnings would be a sufficient level.
I mean, maybe that's just like what.
So this is what everything is. Over here is a light, and it makes the tiniest noise. If this goes off, you're gonna blow up. But it's the tiniest.
I think they also just want to make sure you don't have any hearing loss in general, just so that they have a basis. Like, they have a baseline to go by. Like, okay, Hans has, minus 20 decibels in his right ear, so I mean, next time we have him do a physical, we'll keep monitoring that.
Yeah, I could see that too. And I could see if we're trying to find someone who can't hear that well. But, like, as far as trying to find how on the other end, I'm just wondering for what the benefit would be.
Or I just did so well on the test, they're like, holy shit. He was just, like, amazed that nobody... I don't think he's ever seen that.
Do you ever hear, like, ringing in your ears and the dying and stuff? What?
I hear it all the time.
You're sitting there, yeah.
Which is why, like, I even have, like... I think it's this ear. I can feel the eardrum move sometimes when I'm sleeping. So I have to sleep a different way. Or else I can boom, boom, boom. I feel it. And it's disorienting to me to where I'm like, I can't fall asleep. And so I have to move. I don't know what that's from. And that's why it was like really surprising to me that he's like, no hearing loss. And then this ear felt more confident in hearing everything than this ear. But this ear, I do feel like I hear those high pitch, like for a little bit, and then they're gone. I feel like I hear that in that ear more.
Left, I think.
And then this one I don't hear, but I feel the eardrum moving, which is, that's why I was just like, wait, you're telling me I don't have any hearing loss? I figured he was going to tell me, okay, you're like almost deaf, you need to figure out what you're going to do with your life because there's no hope for you. And then he's like, you showed no signs of hearing loss whatsoever. Okay, then I guess that guess was a good guess.
I mean, it's not like you've been, standing in front of a Marshall stack for like 10 years straight.
True.
But you've had a lot of
Right.
That's what's surprising. You would just figure,
and like
all the
headphones in my
jams
ear,
we fucking blasting drums 3 feet away from you, and just like
Right. I used to
stand.
stand.
I never. Well, you do, but I never wear them, and we didn't used to.
Right. When my ear started doing that, like I remember me and my dad went to a Bulls game, and I brought the earplugs, and it was so much better because we were up in the 300 level. I think it was a playoff game. It was super loud. Everything is super loud, and I put those in. I was like, "Oh my god, it feels so much better." It's like you take them on, you're like, "Oh shit."
God, I feel like I'm at brunch right now. That is surprising. I would like to take that test and see what they tell me, because I assume the same thing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I don't hear as well as I used to.
Unless it's like the frequencies that they were testing are not frequencies that I've lost.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because these were really high pitch, and he was like, "Oh, the really low pitch ones are hard to hear," and I'm like, "Oh shit! Like I'm gonna hear like really low." I never heard really low pitches. So, unless he meant lower in terms of the range that I was hearing, because they were extremely high, like dog whistle type frequencies, and then those are like maybe the lowest was here and the highest was like the ceiling, and so this was still pretty high. It wasn't like bass register or anything. So. I just thought it was interesting. Came out of there going, I'm an X-Men. I got superhuman sight. Pressure. It was the top one was normal, but the bottom one was a little bit high. And he was like, usually happens just because you're here for a job thing. So, but other than that, no diabetes. Nothing along those lines, so
that's good.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a physical before that?
March.
Yeah.
Because when I went to do the subbing, they wanted a physical, which was odd. CPS doesn't care if you're gonna die. They just want a drug test.
They prefer it.
They want a drug test and a TB test. That's all CPS asks. Huh. But to sub in the suburbs, they were like, we need a physical, we need drug tests, we need background check, we need all this crazy stuff. But I had to do I had to like go and do like the legit for this one. I had to like do the actual
the electronic ink ones.
Not like I've done the electronic ones all the time, but I had to do ink and card, and I was like, and the woman was yelling at me the whole time. She's like, because we did the one, and then she moved it over, and it was gonna like fall, but I already had ink on my hand, so I went to go. She's like, "Don't do that!" And then like there was like a little tiny mark like on the edge of it. She's like, "Look what you did!" Like in a kidding way.
I'm an X-Man.
Well, this was before
you knew you were an X-Man.
Before I knew I was an X-Man. and so she's like. And then I like touched the table that she was doing this on. She's like, "Don't touch the table." She's like, "You're worse than my kids." And I'm like, "This is the first time I've ever done this. I've always done the electronic one where I don't have to worry about ink on my fingers." She's like, "I can tell." And then she like, "What?" She's like, "Let me clean your hands for you." Like. And then she like cleaned it a bunch, and then she gave me one more. She's like, "I think you can finish the rest." And I was like, "I'm like, thank you, ma'am.
She fixed your hair for you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am."
That's some Cook County Jail treatment. The real deal.
Yeah, because they needed like 2 copies of it or something like that, and I had to send it in. So it was like I couldn't do it. And then I did a drug test for them Wednesday, I think. And that was crazy. So I've been like running around.
Just piss or blood, or just
piss, yeah. Which I was like, I thought, oh, this is gonna be the real deal. Like they're gonna want blood, or something like that. Because just pee in a cup. Because like I did it, and then I'm like waiting for her to like
tell you,
all right, roll up your sleeve or something, and she's like, no, you're done. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I can go. That was quicker than I thought. But yeah.
They used to hair test us in high school and at Pat's. It started like sophomore year. And then I had to take them for trucking, obviously. So all the truckers have to go into a pool, and like not 75% of truckers, but 75% of like the number, that amount of tests has to be done. They're all random, and whoever gets them, you know. So I got pulled a couple times, but they were just urine, not hair. And hair, they always said, went back like 3 months. You know, urine, they'll say, depending on certain things, weed is a month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, depending on how much fat you have, all that stuff, you know. But, yeah, we'd have to do that. We'd have to get our biometrics and drug tests. If anything happened, if an old lady backed into you and you were parked, you would still have to go for a drug test because they just want to be able to fire you if...
or have, you know, evidence to show that you're a not a complete hooligan.
Well, he was sober, and the person that hit him was not.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been running around.
So that was it? Just blood pressure, weight? Did they do any of the stuff where they're gonna tell you?
Oh, they did like an EKG.
Did they do cholesterol or anything?
I mean, I think because I did a urine test, and that's what was the diabetes and all that stuff that. So he was like looking at it. He was looking at it, and he's like, everything looks great. Nothing wrong. I think he was nothing wrong with your liver or your kidneys. So I'm like, okay. I think he was really looking at diabetes because he's looking at my fat ass going, there's no way this motherfucker doesn't have diabetes. This Wilford Brimley looking motherfucker.
Did they measure your neck for sleep apnea, man?
No, they asked me if I had sleep apnea. I'm like, no.
They're gonna, if they do it to truckers already and they're trying to do everything like they do to pilots, they're gonna do that shit to...
he was like, just, you know, we... Generally tell the pilots that you can't take Benadryl or Zyrtec for your allergies because it can make you sleepy.
Oh yeah, sure.
And so only Claritin and whatever. And he goes, but for you, it really doesn't matter because you're not going to be in a plane.
You have coffee and cocaine on the ground with you.
Exactly. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess Benadryl makes me sleepy when I'm tired already. But
I feel like it's knocked me out before.
It's knocked me out at like 10 o'clock at night. But if I took it now, and I take 2.
Oh.
I don't take just the 1.
Big man.
Yeah, I take 2. I can go about my day. You know, like NyQuil really doesn't knock me out. I think I take it as a placebo to knock me out because I go, all right, it's 10 o'clock, or, you know, it's like 9 o'clock. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. I go to bed pretty early. It's 8 o'clock. Let me take some NyQuil. Maybe it'll help me fall asleep better. Usually it doesn't. So
NyQuil will work if you don't follow their dosage.
Right, if you just like chug some.
I throw that little cap right out the window.
Actually, you know what? I've noticed that if I take more than the cap, it keeps me up.
Oh, you get the opposite.
But if I take the cap or the cup, whatever it is, I am okay, and I might actually fall asleep. Though I do think it keeps me asleep. Like, it doesn't help me fall asleep.
It kicks in really late.
Yeah.
It leaves me almost hungover, like drowsy in the morning.
That's what it is. Say. Yeah. It doesn't help me fall asleep. It just helps me stay asleep once I'm asleep.
And once you open your eyes, you're like, oh, and you're just heavy. And
right. So I try not to take it if I know I have to wake up. But, like, say, like, on a Saturday, like a Friday night, and I'm feeling crappy, that's when I'll take, like, two cups or 1.5 or whatever, and just because I know, like, it's okay if I don't wake up at my alarm or whatever. So
you think you can lose 10 pounds in a month?
I hope so.
Man, my dates are all messed up. What is it?
The 29th. Yeah, 29th. I think so. I ordered some meals off of Keto Fridge.
I think I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, I think
that shit looks delicious.
It looks delicious. Melissa had one Friday, and she said it was not that tasty. But
these are the vacuum sealed.
They're
ones,
like
right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
for sure.
So I'm gonna.
So how did that whole thing work? Did you call? They drop them off. You pick them up.
You order online, and they ship like every week. You have up until Friday or something like that to order. And then
different
all
kinds of meals, or just
they have they have like a menu that they kind of have up, and then they'll the next week Wednesday they're delivered to your house in like in a box, but it's filled with like
dry ice or some shit.
Those like gel pack things that stay frozen forever. So it's yeah. So
well, that's cool.
Yeah. They had like a burrito filled with kangaroo meat, but the tortilla was just bacon. And that keeps getting like sold out. Like I keep getting texts from them because I ordered the one time. And now they're just like texting me all the time. Hey, get this. Hey, the burrito's back in stock.
And by the time you get to the
order it now, and then it's like the next day, our burrito's out of stock. Sorry.
Oh no.
So I got that. I figured out how to drink the Ketogenics that is kind of hard to get down. I bought some Mio stuff, and I just mixed out because it's 0 calories, 0 carbs. So I mixed out in, and it kind
more
of
flavor.
It masks the nasty lemonness that it is, and it just kind of like adds to the fact that it's like a fruit punch flavored thing. So it's a little bit easier to take down. The
MCT oil?
No, the supplement for your Alpha Brain
the instant.
that I took.
Yeah, how's that?
I took it this morning. I'm like,
yeah.
I took it this morning.
Firing on all the brain cylinders.
I think my brain's firing too fast. I can't find the words, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You can definitely taste some herbage if you take it by itself because it's like peach flavored, so it tastes pretty good.
Still want to do this for me. I want to try it.
It tastes pretty good.
You snort it?
Tastes pretty good, but by itself, you can definitely taste the like whatever herbs they use, or because it's like
so it's powder in the
powder
thing,
yeah,
and you put it in
water. Yeah. And then so I put a little bit of that Mio stuff in there too to kind of like just mask that herbage flavor. But yeah, it's pretty good. Like it's good by itself. Like I drink it by itself fine, but I feel like when I added the Mio, I add just a little bit. It just like kind of rounds out the flavor. It's like not as doesn't taste like when you take a pill, like a multivitamin, it has that weird kind of flavor if it's not like a gel cap or something. Yeah. That's kind of what it has. So I'm just like I kind of put that in there just to mask that
funky,
like all natural whatever bullshit.
That disgusting natural. Yeah.
But yeah, so
you got MCT oil. You do have the Alpha. So the first time you took Alpha Brain Instant or no?
Not today, but I did. This is probably like the third time I took it.
And all 3 times?
I took it Friday in the morning because I had to grade a bunch of tests and put them into the computer before the end of the day on Friday. So I was like, shit, I got it. And like I had all this time to give it to the kids because it's like a CPS mandated thing. I had all this time, and it's like the window to put the grades in is Friday. And so I gave it to them on Thursday, thinking, oh, I'll give it to them on Thursday. I have a whole period at the end of the day where I don't do anything. It's a prep period. And so I'm like, oh, I'll give it to them, and then I'll just grade it and put it in, and I'll be done. And once the day was over and I got to my prep period, I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I just, like, at that point, I was just, like, listening to podcasts and, like, drawing on my iPad, which I've been doing a lot lately.
Is there some sort of badass drawing thing on those things now?
Yeah.
I keep seeing tattooers with the Instagram thing where you see, you know,
like,
that shit looks badass.
It's really good because you can put multiple layers, so you can do the original pencil sketch and then put a new layer over, and then it's really nice.
Damn.
So that's like for the like Disney t-shirts and all that stuff. Like that's what I use. Like I like draw all that stuff and I color it in, do different layers, and get all that stuff in. So that's what I've been doing. TeePublic emailed me saying, "Look, Black Friday's coming up. You need to have a crap ton of stuff because this is the busiest time of year." So I've been like drawing a whole bunch of different things and trying to get stuff up for that time because I've sold maybe 20 shirts, stuff like that. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and I didn't like. I was so burnt out by the end of the day on Thursday. I was like, no, and I'm like, but when I get to work in the morning, like I get to work fairly early, but I get there and I'm like, I want to ease into it. Like I want to like put a podcast on, just sit there, kind of collect my thoughts, kind of stuff. But I knew that Friday morning I had to hit it right away because I had to grade all these friggin' tests and put them in the computer. And so I was like, all right, let me take some Alpha Brain. It's like the second time I did it, and I was able to focus and get it all done, even though I had started listening to the Tom DeLonge one. I couldn't after a while.
Oh, what the fuck was that?
Because he was speaking out of his butt so much.
I can't really say anything about that. Oh my god, dude.
I'm like, you're talking in circles. I'm done with you. Once I was done grading, because like I kind of like zoned out.
That was bizarre, dude.
Once I put it in, I'm like, okay, I'm done with you.
That was fucking weird. I turned it on, and then I was like getting ready to go out, so I was like going upstairs, and it was still on. And Tata and Schwager were watching it, and I was gonna leave. I ended up staying there for like 20 more minutes, standing, not even on the couch, just watching. And then finally, I turned to them. I'm like, is crazy ass Tom DeLonge like going crazy on the Joe Rogan podcast right now? Like, is this one of those things where you see it and then like a month later they're like, yeah, you fucking went crazy a week later because look at him. Right. He's fucking unhinged. It's like
he just kept saying like, well, Joe would just be like, it'd be like,
I don't want to talk about that.
What are you talking? Like, can you get it? No, I can't really speak about that because of the organization or something.
Like the people I represent.
Right.
I'm not really speaking for me anymore. I don't really want to get into all that. He kept saying that about like, and I was laughing, listening, like thinking about what Joe was trying to ask him next, and like how to keep the conversation going. Because you could see him sitting there like, what do I do with this?
Exactly. And I just like I can't listen to this anymore. You're just speaking in circles, speaking out of your ass. Like I can't do this anymore.
I could probably caught like an hour of the hour and 40, sparsely. Yeah. But that was weird.
I probably listened to maybe 45 minutes of it, and I was just like, "This is going nowhere."
And he didn't say anything. He basically said, "Yeah, we're going to make fictional movies eventually based on the knowledge that he knows." I thought it was fucking hilarious. He was like, "Oh, you have to offer these people something, and I have a service that they would want." And I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, "Nah, I don't think so." I was like, "Let's say that you aren't sitting in a cafe by yourself experiencing a bout of schizophrenia when this person comes in and gives you this thing. Let's say that's not the truth and this actually happened. If any of this happened, you're a fucking moron and they're trying to spread misinformation." Is disinformation a word as well? Because I almost said disinformation.
I don't know. I think it's misinformation. I don't know if there's disinformation.
But right? I mean, why the fuck...
Right.
Would any powerful person...
Because you're misinformed, right?
You're misinformed, but I feel like you can spread... I feel like if you're trying to fuck with someone, it's...
Disinformity?
Yeah, if... Come on. if anyone talked to him, it's just gotta be to fuck with someone, not him. Maybe to fuck with anyone who believes him.
I always wondered why the guys in Blink-182 didn't want to be associated with him anymore, and now I understand why. It's like, what's wrong with this guy? I mean, didn't he find Jesus or something? I thought that's what it was. Like, he found Jesus, and that's why he made that band Angels and Airwaves or whatever. So I just assumed it was because of that. Like,
okay, so honestly, he seemed to be. So yeah, you could tell Tom DeLonge was into all that UFO shit. Yeah, back then, even from Enema of the State, there were a bunch of like, you know, alien lyrics and blah blah blah. But on the God damn it, I lost my train of thought. Tom DeLonge, the alien. What would you say right before that?
Found Jesus.
Found Jesus. Oh, see, I need an alpha brain, dude. Vanilla chai ain't gonna cut it.
Case in point, he's pretty messed up.
Oof. Oof. Oh, I know what I was gonna get at. I felt like he was alluding to some sort of InfoWars. Alex Jones. I think he was referring to aliens are not things and little beings from a planet. He was referring to aliens as interdimensional type. There are things working on different wavelengths and frequencies than we are, which is like what Alex Jones was saying that time he got all high on Joe Rogan and started talking about, you know, interdimensional pedophilia and all that. Honestly, that's what I was getting from it. Like, I felt like he was on the same line. He kept like alluding to, yeah, this shit's really scary, but I don't mean it in a, not in a, what the hell did he say? He didn't say terrestrial, not in like an existential sense, he said, or something, meaning like existing in this world.
But then he said stuff about how he didn't think the Cold War got hot because they were all working
banded together, right? Because there was a bigger threat.
Yeah. And then Joe was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
So, all right, we all know that we don't know how the top runs and all that. Like, I think we can all admit that. Right. We don't exactly know what the hell's going on up there, right? Right. Let's assume that there's a group that's more than, let's assume it's more than one guy, right? So there's a group of people up there. Somehow, due to their influence and power and the people around them, they're able to control more than we are, right? I could see that, you know, like, okay, so these people come across an alien, a threat from fucking hell, whatever the fuck it is. It's something not of this world. Right. They find it and they go, oh, well, fuck it. Because that's what they always said, right? Even, like, I feel like presidents have said that before. The day they find aliens, we'll all come together, blah, 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 you know? I could see that, because, yeah, we'll band together if there's something that's going to come wipe out humanity. Tom DeLonge would never...
Because one person is smart, but people are stupid, right? So the idea is you can't let everybody know that this stuff exists because there'll be mass hysteria or whatever.
It would be that a shift, idea, right? There would be chaos for a while. Maybe for, you know.
But, or you can believe that we are just aliens from another planet.
Well, I mean, honestly, I look at how different we are from most of the stuff on the world. Like, I don't think, like, any sort of genetic engineering is out of the question, like, a long fucking time ago or anything. I do believe in evolution and all that, but then there are these jumps and weird things and, like...
Well, we haven't found the missing link, too.
There you go. Like, just all the stuff that doesn't make sense. Right. And how we made the huge jump in brain size and all that. Right. We fucking wear clothes and we have to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're different than every goddamn thing else. Right. So, all I know is I don't know a lot of shit, and I don't know, it becomes...
Do you watch Ancient Aliens and stuff like that? No. So, sometimes I watch that stuff and I go, okay, this makes sense. You know, you're obviously trying to make connections, and it makes sense, but some of the time, and then a lot of these people are ridiculously, like the guy with the hair that's like
hair, yeah.
Like, what? He didn't always look like that, though. Like, the first... Because Ancient Aliens was on a show. It was just, like, a special that they did a couple times. And he looked fairly normal. And then once it turned into a series of shows, now he became...
He started doing his hair all dumb and
aliens. But, yeah. I can understand. Like, all the ancient... civilizations
I've read books about that stuff, right?
Have like they all have stories of visitors from other worlds, and that's how they were started. Like the Hopi Indians and the people in the Middle East, and I can't remember what, the Sumerians or something like that. They all have like similar stories, or like how do you explain how the pyramids in Mexico are built almost exactly like within a quarter of an inch or whatever to the pyramids of Giza in Egypt.
Phenomena, different places where the people weren't together. So how the hell did that?
Atlantis? No, just kidding.
Shit's so old and we're so fucking, just the little blip that it's like, I mean, I understand, like, well, the complexity of it. It's just...
Right.
So, like, I mean, I could see, it's not far-fetched to me to believe that, like, the powerful people of the world would be like, okay, if anything ever, like, crazy went down, they wouldn't tell anybody. That's just going to cause more fucking problems. But, yeah, I mean... They wouldn't let your dumb ass come on Joe Rogan and talk about it. You know what I mean? It's so weird.
Right.
But then, I mean, he kept saying those people's names and shit. Like, he has legitimate people with him, apparently, according to what he was saying.
I didn't understand
like, the Pentagon and shit. I don't fucking...
He's dealing with people from the Pentagon. He can't talk about these sensitive subjects, yet you can make movies about them.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? It's like, why would you...
Yeah,
why would you choose to make
you can't talk about it, but you can talk about how much you can't talk about it.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah,
and he was sniffling the whole time.
It's just there's obviously some sort of endeavor that he's trying to do. His company is really just a entertainment company, and this is a way to build publicity for ensuing, movies.
Anybody
or whatever
that doesn't think like us, that believes in that shit, maybe went crazy over that interview. Maybe they were like, holy shit, oh my god, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like maybe that's who he's going for, because who's gonna watch that shit?
People who come to conclusions without any real... There was nothing there. There was no... It was... he gave us the plate with the parsley on it. There was no meat or potatoes at all.
People for whom that is confirmation bias are going to be like, oh shit, that already believe all that. That didn't need him to tell them anything besides that they agree, that he agrees with them and he knows more than they do even.
Right.
So maybe that was his whole thing. He probably got millions of people watch that, right? So out of them, there's a whole bunch of fucking Tom DeLonges, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah.
So I'm sure maybe he got just what...
Not everybody who watches his podcast is into keto or archery or
MMA
or comedy.
Apparently not, because that motherfucker gets watched by a lot of shit.
Did you see or hear the one with the girl that won that Moab?
Oh yeah,
250 or whatever, where she ran to and she beat.
She did 58 hours. Cameron Hay was 79.
Yeah, but the guy who came in second, she beat him by 10 hours.
Yeah, oh my god.
And he was like, "You could have just took a nap. You could have took an 8-hour nap.
Could have took a shower, took a nap, got some food. Yeah,
had a nice dinner, had some wine."
She said 21 minutes.
She slept.
Yeah. 1 20-minute and 1 minute.
Yeah.
For 58 hours. Like, I couldn't even stay up for 58 hours without the physical shit going on, maybe to keep myself awake.
We couldn't even watch the Two Towers without falling asleep. I remember that. We're like, we're gonna have a Lord of the Rings marathon. We're like
7 hours into it.
But we were like 14, you know? We were young. We should have been able to do this. And we got through the fellowship. Maybe we didn't even get through the fellowship.
Oh, we probably got through.
We hit the 2 towers and boom.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even be able to do that. She was running the whole time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I ran that half marathon. I never want to run anything ever again. Like, maybe I'll do a 5K here and there because those aren't that bad. But to run for 250 miles, was that how much it was? Yeah, right?
238.
238.
Yeah.
I would not want to do that. Because I walked the last 3 miles of that half marathon because I was just dead.
I could see covering 238 miles if, like, you know, if there was no way to get there other than me walking, and I got fine, I could do that. But it would take me a month or something. Like, I expected them to run like fast as fuck and then sleep for like 3 hours or 4. That's what I was expecting them to do.
I figured they had a time, right? Like, you run all day, and then like 10 o'clock they cut it, and you go in, and you sleep because they do that for like the Tour de France and stuff like that. Like, you bike until a certain time, you stop, you wherever you're at, and you sleep, and then you get up and you start again at a certain time. That's what I figured it was. But when she said that she only slept for 21 minutes the whole time, I was like, what are you talking about?
And it got down to like 8 degrees up there or some shit, which, I mean, I guess it's better to be running than not running in that weather, maybe, but fuck.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I've been running about 3 miles by my house. How many K is that? 6.
That's a 5. Right? That's a 5K.
Is a kilometer is what?
Because when you run a 5K, it's 3.1 miles.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's about a 5K, which isn't bad.
I'm pretty. If I do it at a brisk pace, I'm pretty goddamn tired at the end. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Sore the next day.
But the way we did it is like we would run for X amount of minutes and then walk for. When we were in Anaheim doing it, I was like pretty much at the end of my rope. Like, I was at mile 10, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna walk it. Like, Melissa had totally outran me. We like she was like a mile ahead of me, and the way the track was like mile 9 and mile 8 kind of hit each other.
Yeah.
So she saw me again, and so she's like, oh, you know, blah, blah. And then I'm like, part of me wanted to just like cut across and be like, yeah, I did that mile. And she's like, no, just do it. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I went over, and she was gone. So I was like, by mile 9, I got to this group of people, and they literally were running for like 30 seconds, walking for a minute, running for 36, and I'm like, how did you make time? Like, because when you're running through the theme parks, you have to make a certain time or else they kick you off the course, because you're running before they open the park to the public.
They gotta open it up, yeah.
Right, so it's like, if you're not making the time, they're just like, sorry, and they like put you on a cart and drive you to the end of the thing. So like, I'm like, how did you make time? But then I'm like, whatever, I have to deal with my own personal battle of trying to get to the finish line.
And you came across them, so they were doing that the whole time and they were in front of you? How is that possible?
They probably were in a corral in front.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, I got you.
Like,
yeah. It's not like everyone goes, once you told me, everyone was waiting around. They did that fucking thing
party
over and over again.
Yeah, so like, by the time we got there, I had seen this stupid celebration with Mickey Mouse and everything like 30 times. Yeah, because we were in Corral G. So that meant these are all the people, and this is the biggest corral too. So this corral was divided up into like 10 sections. Luckily, we're at the front of the corral. So, but yeah, every corral, we saw pretty much every corral before us do the little celebration and run off. And there was somebody, we got to mile 3. So we're about to enter the behind California Adventure. mile 3 and mile 13 or 11 or 12 or something like that are the same. And they're pushing all of us. There's this huge, giant mass of people who just started running, maybe 15 minutes ago. They're like pushing us to the side, like stay to the right, stay to the right. One person has already gotten to mile 11 or whatever it was. If anything will deflate you more, it's going, I got this. And then you see one person who's almost done, and you go, I wish I was that person because I wish I was done. And they're like, no, you still have like 10 more miles to go. It was pretty rough.
13, right?
Yeah.
Half marathon, 13.1, and then it's a 26.2.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I've never, it's just, I don't know. I've never been into running just to run the distance.
Yeah.
I like running as like, I'm bored of doing push-ups and pull-ups, so I'll go running type thing.
I never liked running.
Yeah, well, I had to run during the sports.
Right.
And they wouldn't, I was thinking about that the other day. Anywhere on the field, you had to run. So, going to get water, you fucking had to run from that end of the field to that, and then when you went back on, and they would just, like, just that movement. When I start running now and I leave the house, the first, 4 minutes is pure agony. I'm just like, oh, like my hips and my knees and everything, and I try to just, loosen up. Like, I kind of, loose funny walk for a while and kind of get the joints going and shit. But yeah, just that being in shape is not just being the right weight.
Yeah, it's
being able to move your body and use it like a machine. Like me and Tater were talking about that because we made the 3 miles, but it was fucking terrible. Yeah. And I used to be able to fucking no problem, and I barely break a sweat. So it's whatever those pathways are in your brain going to the body and just being used to it.
Well, I think it's also, it's not necessarily your muscles or your joints or whatever. It's your heart and your lungs. Are those conditioned? Because that's what you have to condition. Because I noticed that you can push yourself, and I could we did 13.1 miles maybe once or twice before we actually ran the half marathon, and it wasn't bad, physically. I wasn't... It was always, catching your breath, or... That was always the part that was the most difficult. But for whatever reason, when we were in Anaheim, that wasn't what was difficult. It was, okay, now your body is catching up,
wow, weird.
It's catching up to yourself, and this third time that you're running this, now it hurts. Now your feet are in agony, and you're walking the last 3 miles in agony because your feet just hurt for some reason. Whatever was going on,
right?
It's the complete opposite now. I don't know if it was the dry air, so because now it's dry air and it's not Chicago anymore, you don't have to deal with this stuff. It's good for your good for your lungs, right? And now your body can focus on the fact that you've been running with 290 pounds, 300 pounds on your feet the whole time, and now it's not happy. Also in Chicago, it's fairly flat. Here, there was a bunch of hills that we had to run up and down, running over the freeway, jumping, running over this giant hill thing. It was
and going down is hard too.
Yeah, because
muscles, you're just kind of stopping yourself.
Yeah, and your legs become shock absorbers, and so now that hurts.
Yeah.
And so it was I wanted to cut my legs off when we were done. We came back to the hotel, showered real quick because we had to check out.
And the 2 times you did it before that, your legs,
my legs were barely... I mean, my legs were oh yeah, I could tell I ran.
And this was agony now.
I could tell I ran, but I could go to work the next day just fine.
Did you do it faster at Disney World?
No. Wow. I don't think so. I think I kept a similar pace. Because maybe the beginning was faster, because now it's it's a lot different. With Melissa, she's going to go ahead of me but I'm gonna kind of always be in her.
Yeah, within.
Right.
Yeah.
But this was like, there's so many people, and we had kind of made a pact. Like, she was like, do you want me to stay with you, or do you want me to... I'm like, just go. Like, if you can make it there faster, just go.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. And literally, like, I lost her within, like... the first, like, 20 seconds. But, like, now I'm pacing myself with these strangers.
Right. Yeah.
And... maybe they're running faster, and so I'm trying to keep up with them.
Because there's like throngs, and they're either moving past you or moving with you.
And so I think that's the thing, is like when we were running just the two of us, there weren't all these other people where I'm like, I should keep like mentally trying to keep up with them. So maybe I did push myself a little bit harder, and so those first few miles were faster than normal. Maybe I was hitting a 12-minute mile, because usually I was around 13 or 13 and a half. So maybe I was, and then even though I walked the last 3 miles, it sort of kind of evened itself out.
By that point, you burn your muscles out.
Yeah.
No, I understand that though, because if you run slow enough, the muscle thing's not that bad, right? You're just kind of bouncing, and you kind of feel like you can do that for a long fucking time, but I was getting the side cramp, which I hadn't felt in so many years because I hadn't been running. Right. And man, that shit is crazy. Like, it still hurts really bad. You're still like, oh, what the fuck? And just the only thing that gets me through is I know what it is. Right. Like, as a little kid, if that would have happened, I would have been like, ah! If it never would have happened before. But that's, I don't know, I think that's how you're going to, like, tighten up the abs and the shit around your lungs, right? Because you're just like all that breathing and for sure tight,
tighter, like a toiker,
tighter. Knocked Out. You ever see that movie?
But so also it was kind of fun to see 310 and be like, oh, this is at a doctor's office, so it's definitely official. My weight.
Oh, yeah, that is official, right? Yeah, that's like, nice.
That's the most official it'll ever be. No more guests.
You should have come and seen how close you were to your scale, like, right then.
Oh, yeah. I was downtown, so there's, like, no way I was going to be able to do it, but, yeah. And I was hungry. I was like, I'm going to eat.
What'd you eat after that?
I went to a protein bar, and I just had a smoothie. It's like one of these, like, hipster,
What was the protein one? Peanut butter?
It was banana? It was like chocolate whey, and then there was, I think, banana and like some other stuff in it. It's called Cocoa Comiskey or something like that. I was like, beautiful. But it had like agave. It was like more like what's that other diet? Paleo. It was like paleo friendly because it didn't have any refined sugars and stuff like that.
It's natural. Like, those smoothies are good. Yeah. But, yeah. They're supposed to be, like, replace a meal, though, right? Yeah, you're not really supposed to, like...
Have that with a meal.
What everyone does, right? You just kind of have that as a drink. I'm drinking a smoothie. It's so healthy.
with my omelet.
Yeah. The fries at Kuma got way better. I mean, they got away from the waffle fries a long time ago, but then even their regular fries were... These were nice and salty, crispy. Good amount of skin. Gotta go?
Soon, yeah. I did it for a while.
Oh, I can't see it today.
Yeah, I think it's his hour or something.
Did you see Joey Diaz was on the other day?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to listen to that one.
I got the first part of it. What else has he got on late? That lady was so funny too, right? Because she was like, I don't know how I did it.
I eat nachos, and like, drink beer.
Super modest and just she's gonna make a shitload of money now.
Probably
on shoes and shit.
Yeah.
She's a freak.
Yeah. My child is dying upstairs. So maybe we should call it.
There's a child interrogation happening upstairs.
I won't tell you where the cookies are. Never.
Where are the cookies?
The boo box. No, not the boo box.
The boo box.
Okay, so Freeform, formerly ABC Family, right?
Freeform.
We talk about this.
Yeah, you told me that. I think
this is like the 17th time I brought this up. But anyway,
sorry.
They're doing like a Halloween,
bash
movie thing, yeah, for a few weeks now. And one of the movies that they're going to show, I think today, in between Hocus Pocus and Nightmare Before Christmas and other.
What's it gonna be? What?
Hook. And I'm like,
it's stupid.
How Hook is a Christmas
That's
movie.
Another Christmas. Yeah, if it's gonna be anything, it's a Christmas movie.
It's set around Christmas time.
Winter, snow,
winter. Freeform's a bunch of idiots.
Okay, so what's the best scary movie you've seen, like in recent times?
I don't watch scary movies.
October rolled around and I was like, okay, I'll get into the mood, let's be festive and all that. So I just wanted to watch some scary movies. And I'll sit on Netflix for like a half hour going through dumb fucking title after dumb title.
Like Sharknado?
I already saw Sharknado. That's not a scary movie either. That's a thriller.
I refuse to watch Sharknado. It sounds so stupid.
For some reason, I think I saw it like the day it came out, like on TV, I think I was at an OC and I was stuck there in the trucks, and whoever was in that room thought that was what everyone wanted to watch.
I don't really watch scary movies. I think the only scary movies I've ever watched are like The Exorcist and like Scream. I know I've seen those, and I Know What You Did Last Summer because those came out when we were growing
Blair
up.
Witch Project, you see that?
No.
That was another one when we were like 12.
Yeah, 10. But I never watched it.
That one scared
the shit out of me. Never really watched Halloween or the Friday 13th.
I watched Halloween. I never watched Friday the 13th. Never watched Freddy Krueger.
Right.
Never watched.
I did watch. Leprechaun.
That's true.
We would watch
that
Leprechaun.
Should be one. That's around on Halloween, I feel like.
So, it's
one of them isn't.
They're all.
Are they all around?
There's horror movies, so I just because it's.
This is true.
A Leprechaun theme, right? I've seen because they would play them on WGN Sunday afternoons, right? Yeah. And it'd be like Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun in Space.
That's the one, man. Leprechaun in the Hood was the one. Ice-T, I believe.
Before he made it to Law and Order, this is his audition for Law and Order.
So
hey, yo, Leprechaun, where you going? Bring me back my gold teeth.
Huh? So he's cutting his acting teeth there on the Leprechauns. Learning from old Warwick.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that's him too. What a storied career that man has had.
As far as midgets goes, man, he's
Ewok,
killing it.
Willow,
he's killing it.
The Leprechaun. Every midget in Harry Potter, because they couldn't get other little people actors.
None of the midgets in the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Well, they used that one guy.
The one Indian dude.
He's in Narnia too, right?
He's in
he's in the Never-Ending Story.
Narnia.
He's in Never-Ending Story.
I haven't seen that.
He's the guy that rode the snail, I think, and they dubbed his voice because he can't speak English. Right? Oh, that movie.
The remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I don't know if it's really a remake because it's more of an actual telling of the story, while Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was... They kind of took some...
That's how they did movies back then.
Well, the reason why it's called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is because Roald Dahl hated it and didn't want to, I guess, give up the rights after he saw what they had done with it.
Oh, sure.
So they were like, "What do we do?" So they were able to call it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and they got away with it.
Wait, so are we talking about the original or the
original? The original is called Willy Wonka.
Ah.
The new one is called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I just called it that always, but that was actually called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. No, but it's called Willy Wonka
and the Chocolate Factory.
The new one. Well, yeah.
Because also the books, The Glass Elevator is a completely separate book to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Do they have that in that new movie, though? I thought they did.
They do, but I guess, because we're so...
They had to follow the movie a bit, because we would have been
like, what the fuck? Be like, they went through the elevator in the first one, man. Which I also think is why they called it Willy Wonka, because they kind of like splooged the two together.
Gene Wilder did a much better job than fucking Johnny Depp.
But Johnny Depp was trying to go the more like psychotic route, which is what he does with everything.
Someone describe it as Michael Jackson, which totally makes sense.
Oh yeah, that is
never growing up,
right?
Yeah, and with that voice and shit. And when they said that, I was like, damn, that does make sense. I didn't get it before.
And the look,
the
look too, right? That's like the pale skin. Whoa.
Girls. Yeah, I never put it together, but
okay. Should he just win an award just for that? Like, all right, guys, we have this character. His name's Charlie, or no, his name's Willy Wonka, and he owns a chocolate factory. So we want to get some ideas as to what approach you would take for this character. I'm thinking Michael Jackson. Gold.
Yeah, luring kids to your house, chilling, never growing up. Weird, right? Either way, I mean, I had the same look you had on your face. I was like, oh shit, but it doesn't make his portrayal any better. Like,
true.
I'm not into it. Like, Gene Wilder was like funny, and then he would even get scary like during those parts. Or honestly, Gene Wilder seemed more psychotic to me than fucking, because like
hurricane a blowing.
It's like a real version, where you seem normal sometimes, and then all of a sudden that's the real scary,
Kelly used
crazy.
To sing that all the time, and she knew all the words. Even like when he's just speaking, he's like,
"Oh yeah,
I don't know them," because like that part.
This show,
that part always freaked me out because of the bugs and all that
stuff.
Right.
Like when you were that little, don't they show like flashes of like it's like a Nine Inch Nails video up in that motherfucker?
Like everything else, like I would like reenact the Oompa Loompa dances and sing the songs, but then that part, like, no.
I think we would just like sit down or like get under a blanket and like watch that
and
one.
Kelly would just be like egging me on. There's a hurricane a blowing.
Yeah, we do somersaults and everything. I have the whole Oompa Loompa routine down.
Doopity-doo. And like go to the door. And pretend to close it. Doopity-doo. Yeah, we were idiots. We'd also reenact I feel like we would reenact the sword fight scene from Princess Bride between Inigo Montoya.
That was all you.
Was that all me?
Yeah, I would probably hold a sword, but you were definitely into repeating the whole.
That's true.
My name is Ernesto, long name.
My name is Ernesto Gonzalez.
Maximus Decimus Meridius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that movie came out when we were young, and that was a huge...
2000, probably 2001.
Yeah, that was a huge movie.
That was huge. I remember watching the Oscars or whatever that year, and that was winning everything. But, when I was that little and I liked movies like that, you would watch the Oscars and be like, yeah, Lord of the Rings won everything,
Yay! Legolas!
That was a badass movie, though. I mean, like, me and Smith would watch Gladiator a lot. Cinderella Man. You remember that one? That one came out like in high school.
Was that the one where the guy?
It was Russell Crowe. He was the Irish boxer.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah. Renee Zellweger.
Oh, I think I'm thinking of Juwanna Man. Where the guy pretends to be a woman in the
one of the Wayans, right?
Was it one of the Wayans? I think it was like a cousin. I don't even think it was.
I think it was one of them four. Aren't there four of them?
I don't know.
Marlon, Damon.
Maybe he was in it, but I think the main person was not a Wayans. But I don't know. But yeah, fake can't make it in the NBA, so he fakes it as a woman. That was a pretty popular premise back in the day. Like, wasn't there that Amanda Bynes movie where she pretends to be a dude to play soccer? She's All That or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it all went wrong, but... A doop-a-dee-doo.
Should we just call it?